my name is Nadeem Khan. Welcome to Uncommon Literature. Today we are going to talk about an epic. An epic is a form of poem which is beautifully defined by Aristotle in his book called The Poetics. Today I am going to tell you the definition and characteristics of an epic into small easy points. So first we will talk about the definition of an epic. So I have divided it into 4 points, so let's have a look at them. The first point says that epic is a long narrative poem. It is long, it has a narrative like story, plus it has a great and serious subject. So this is one of the most important points, that an epic deals with a great and serious subjects, not with the small things or small topics. The second point says that it is narrated in an elevated style. So the language or the style of writing the epic is very high class. The elevated style means that the language of an epic is very hi-fi and not of common public language. Okay. Further, the second point says it is centered on a heroic or quasi-divine figure. So the hero of the epic poem is almost a divine-like figure. Quasi-divine means similar to divine, and the fate of a tribe, nation, or the human race depends on the actions of this hero. So you have to understand, whatever this hero does has the fate of an entire nation, tribe, or the human race. So the hero is very important in an epic poem. Third point is the hero is a figure of great national or even cosmic importance, usually the ideal man of his culture. So by the last phrase you can understand that the hero is the ideal person of a culture. So everybody can relate with the hero, and whatever he is doing will do for the betterment of his entire community. The fourth point says that the action consists of deeds of valor or superhuman courage. Basically, the action should be of courageous deeds. For example, battle. In most of the epic, you have the battle scenes as well. You can take the example of Mahabharata, Odyssey, and the Iliad. So this was the definition of an epic into 4 simple points. Now we will move to the characteristics of an epic poem. So these characteristics are the essential points which make a poem an epic poem. So in all the epics you will find these 9 characteristics definitely. So the first one is that it opens in middle of the things. In Latin, the phrase is in medias res. So it means the action of an epic poem does not open from the beginning. So when you open the first page, you read some lines and you realize that some action has already taken place before you even started the poem. And as you go further, the poet will tell you definitely what happened beforehand. So this is a style to start the action from the middle and not from the beginning. Okay. Second point deals with the setting of the epic poem, that it deals with a setting which is vast and it covers many nations and the underworld and the entire universe. So the setting of an epic poem has to be dealing with multiple nations or sometimes even with the entire universe. The third point is very important, that it usually starts with an invocation to Muse. So what is invocation? You have to pay attention to this point. In many of the epic poems, for example, the Iliad and the Rape of the Lock and also Paradise Lost, all these poems are epic and they all start with an invocation to Muse. It is a sort of technique of the poets to start their poems and to ask for the inspiration from the Muse. Muse is a kind of goddess who can inspire the poet to complete the task undertaken. Okay. Next is that it starts with a statement of the theme. So usually in the invocation, the poet includes one statement which tells you the theme of the entire epic poem. So this is also a technique of an epic poem. The fifth point is the usage of epithets. Epithets is a kind of one word or can be a phrase which is used to mention a person. Instead, they don't use the name of the person or the thing, but they use the epithet for that person or a thing. For example, in Iliad, Homer uses swift-footed for Achilles, and by using the epithet, the poet can tell the name of the person, also at the same time the characteristic of that person as well. The sixth point is that it includes long lists. Basically, most of the epic poems you will find inside the text only that there is a very long list, or it can be multiple lists. Okay, in the Iliad you have the list of the names of the soldiers, which goes on for I think 3-4 pages. Okay, the seventh feature says that it should have long and formal speeches. An epic poem should have long and formal speeches in order sometimes to motivate the people, sometimes to start a kind of new thing. Basically, I give you a very good example of this. If you have seen Bahubali, the beginning, during the war time, Bahubali, when he sees that his soldiers are retreating, he sees them and gives a motivational speech on death. He says, what is Mrityu? So what is death actually? The whole speech is long and it motivates all his soldiers to fight back again. Okay, so in most of the epic poems you will find the long and formal speeches. Formal here is used to show the language should be good. Okay, the language should be elevated again. The eighth point is that the epic poem also has divine intervention on human affairs. Basically, it means that on earth you have some conflict going on among the humans, but at the same time the gods are also watching their actions and they are also coming down to intervene the human affairs. Basically, sometimes they come down to help their devotee, sometimes they come down to make a settlement between the people. So there can be different reasons, but divine intervention is important element of an epic. The last point is that the hero embodies the values of a civilization. So it means that the hero should reflect the entire values of his civilization. The people related to that hero should relate with that protagonist, and they should identify themselves with him. So this is the last and important point of the epic. So in this video, I made you understand the definition and characteristics of an epic poem. If you like this, kindly subscribe to my channel. If you have any doubt, write me in the comment section. Thank you so much.